Really? A spoiler warning? Oh, come on, everyone knows about this by now. What's the worst that could happen if I don't include this? Oh. Oh. Undertale. And holy hell, the number of fan content is on par with that of other fandoms, and this thing came out last September. From animations to fan art to musical creations, there's even a Papyrus platformer fan game floating around the net. Combining RPG, bullet hell, and even a morality system into a single game with charming characters certainly has its appeal to it. Heck, if you've seen a few of my videos, I make it clear I'm a fan of the game itself. So I figured I would expand my channel. I do a top 5 of Undertale. So we're doing a top 5 bosses. As you already tell, there's going to be a couple spoilers. So now that we're filled with determination, let's start the list. Undertale's battle system is a unique one. Regardless of what route you'll take, you'll spend a lot of time dodging attacks. While this is true for the ordinary enemies as well as the bosses, a good portion of the bosses can easily change up the way you have to fight them. In a lot of the major boss fights, your soul will be forced to change color and change up the gameplay, either through changing up the dodge mechanic or giving your soul another ability, all the while giving that old soul of yours a brand new coat of paint. So coming in at number 5 is Muffet. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the 8-legged freaks, but Muffet here certainly does stand out, especially in the game. When you battle Muffet, your soul will turn purple and you'll have your soul restricted to 3 horizontal lines that limit your moves to dodge. Her attacks mostly consist of using spiders on strings you're trapped on, as well as throwing baked goods. Ah! Those are baked beds! But then there's our most dangerous attack, the Muffin Spider. And holy, this beast pulls you down in order to munch on you, all the while the spiders that I mentioned earlier are on the strings that can hit you. Then there's the theme music. Ooh, it is one of the creepiest yet talent-tapping tune on the soundtrack. Interesting enough, Muffet's design was made by a webcomic artist, Michelle Kajawski. I know I butchered the name. Now, while I do enjoy this boss, there's a reason why she's so low on the list. I didn't get a chance to fully fight her. Yeah, during my first run of the game, apparently if you use an item that you got from the Spider Bake Sale in the ruins, the fight will end immediately. I didn't learn about that until my second run of the game. So it might be a little jaded on my part to say this about an interesting boss, but hey, she's still on the top 5 list, so that's gotta say something on my part, right? Yes, we have the built-up battle between you and Asgore Dreamer. Throughout the story, you are given hints about how you're gonna fight the guy. It's gonna happen, whether you like it or not. Oddly enough, the only way you get to fight him is if you take the neutral or pacifist route. If you go axe crazy...
Son of a bitch!
Although considering the nightmare that happened before that, I think it's okay. Back to Asgore. The build-up throughout the game makes you wonder about the King of Monsters. He sent so many characters after you to take your soul and complete his collection to break the barrier and free monsters. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the boss fight. The scene is set and you're up against the King of Monsters. I think we may need to rephrase that. But yes, the fight itself has a very looming atmosphere, as Asgore will use somewhat familiar fiery attacks. Either they'll encircle and close in on you, spiral from the sky, use pillars of fire, or of course, use that terrain that isn't just for show. His eyes will flash blue and orange and will sweep against the entire board, where you'll have to remember the order from his eye flashes to whether to move or not. And to make this worse, the attacks become faster and faster as the battle continues. Along with the daunting in-game sprite, the music adds to the atmosphere. Don't just ask me to pronounce the intro. The music starts off ominous and continues to pump you up as you're duking against the King of Monsters for your freedom, knowing that whatever you choose to do with this battle, you will change the world. But hey! At least Asgore didn't give you a bad time.
It's a beautiful day outside. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. On days like this, kids like you should be burning in hell.
After you decide to kill everyone you come across in the underground, he confronts you before you reach Asgore. And it's pretty obvious that since this spooky scare skeleton can not only do the same thing to your soul that Papyrus can, i.e. turn it blue and force you to jump over his attacks, but it is the only enemy in the game where you're not giving invincibility after you take a hit, meaning the damage will go up. Even though you take only one hit of damage, it will build up quickly. His constant bone attacks that he slams against you are the bones you have to navigate through when he throws you down an elongated soul box, or some of the Gaster Blaster to, well...
Damn.
If you get hit, you get the equivalent of poison damage that'll drain your health. And later in the battle, you're forced to move faster, deciding on what action you'll want to take, since there are bones on the options that slide over them and will damage you. Damn it, stop breaking the fourth wall! Then there's Megalovania. Oh, the theme song of this boss fight, and it complements the fight perfectly with all dramatic tension and action that's happening on the screen. Really, this is a good boss. Now, if only I didn't have the skill to die 20 times while trying to kill this goofball. While Sans is indeed a very tough fight, I gotta give my number 2 to the big one. Oh, Mega Flowey, or how the fandom has dubbed him, Photoshop Flowey. Need I say it? Flowey was the very first character you talked to in the game. And ever since he took his spot shot at me, oh, I've wanted to pay him back so much. Especially since he just killed Asgore.
No! No! Was that Flowey? You son of a bitch! Flowey!
The only problem is that Flowey is essentially God, and keeps killing you again and again and again and again and... Literally, the point of this boss is to make you rage quit. The boss fight itself is crazy, with Flowey's impressive range of attacks using flamethrowers, Flowey bombs, and giving you the fingers.
No, that's Badger.
And that's just the start of his range of attacks. The entire battle is practically flips the system into a bullet hell. Your soul box is gone, and you can move all over the place dodging Flowey's impressive array of attack. The presentation of the boss fight is excellent as well. The opening scene with Your Best Nightmare playing in the background, as well as the creepy as hell laugh, sets the scene that this is going to be one hell of a fight. And with the fast pace of the music playing, it matches how quick you have to be in order to survive this boss fight. If you manage to survive for certain amounts of time, the souls within Flowey will react and you'll be transported into different sorts of fights, with different graphics and odd renditions of Your Best Nightmare playing in the background. Survive long enough and hit the action button that appears and you'll be given a chance to recover, as well as get healed. And once all 6 souls have resonated with yours, you're filled with determination! You're not alone in this fight, and your attacks just don't do 1 point of damage to Flowey anymore. I don't want to spoil what rest happens, since this is an excellent boss, and to get the full experience, you really need to face him yourself. But considering that since I love this boss so much, what could be number 1? Well, before that, let's look at a couple of runners-up, shall we? I'm pretty sure this should have been obvious from the way I look.
I'll make your last living moments absolutely beautiful!
Oh, simply beautiful. What can I say about Mettaton? You're introduced to Mettaton at the same time you meet Alphys, where he breaks through the wall and you're thrust into a quid show, showing just how much of a hound Mettaton is. And it's simply fabulous. Throughout Hotland, you're subjected to a lot of oddities such as being a part of a cooking show, or even a singing performance where Mettaton is in a dress, a scene so wacky that it turns the program window of the game into Undertale the Musical. But when you finally face him for real...
Oh, yes.
Oh, scandalous! Should you be trying to go for a non-axe murder playthrough, your goal of this battle is to amass ratings on a conveniently placed ratings board. If you can get over 10,000 on it, you win the fight. However, with the ratings always falling during your turn, you don't have a lot of time to think of what you can do. You can either perform an action to the crowd, ranging from claiming you won't be hit, scoffing at them. Also, by using certain items in the game, you can improve the ratings, because of branding! Mettaton's attacks are just plain crazy. And although they are not as exuberant as Flowey's, they still do stick out a lot more in my opinion. His long, crazy legs, his arms coming down from the screen, smaller Mettatons that fire hearts at you, and bombs. All the while your soul's color changes thanks to Alphys into a stylish yellow. And here we go, Space Invader style, where you shoot little bullets, either to blow the bombs, the little Mettatons coming in from Mary Poppins style, or even his own heart that sparks with thunder. You have to maneuver your heart and blast through various things in order to survive and dodge attacks. This is not even including that Mettaton can actually rewind time. And now we get to the defining factor that puts Mettaton at number 1. Death by glamour. I am by no means a musical expert, but even I can tell this song is amazing and certainly exudes that you're part of the show. There are a number of things that can go on about Mettaton, but this boss, or rather every boss in Undertale, is a boss that needs to be experienced firsthand, and I can't recommend the game any more than I can. Several others have shouted their praise for the game, and I do as well. Be sure to at least give the game a chance. I'm MangaKamen, and remember to examine your fandom, darlings.